All right, doing a sound check. Sound check. All right, so yeah, that worked. All right, try and make this one short and to the point. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kodash. I'm honest to the apostles and elders of Great Stone. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, believers, and helps. Shalom. This is Brother Aaron from Mr. Maker Camp. And just want to do a short testimony, you know, of basically something I experienced, to the while at work, and it's I find it really, really funny, but it's all through the spirit, So on Sunday, somebody requested or made a movie suggestion to me called 365 DNI, and basically it's for brothers that may know books and movies or the book or the movie 50 Shades of Grey. It's about basically BDSM, right? With chains and all type of thing. But the movie wasn't about that, but it had a similar, it had a similar undertone, right? Now, what I noticed that these movies had in common, and the testimony that I'm about to share is going to be based off of some of a conversation that I heard a group of women, because I'm in a training, and basically we don't have much to do the day, so women there, them the stock. So a group of women was basically about 5 or 6 of them were speaking about the movie, and I was there listening to them, right? Now, what I noticed that the main character of these both these movies had was, for one, they were very wealthy, and secondly, they were very dominant. As for those who know, BDSM is bondage, dominance, submissive, and something else. Honestly, I might remember it at this time. Something along those lines. And when they really look at it, they were speaking about how the fact that the men actually demanded obedience, or submission, how you know they would actually feed the women, them could feed them as they want, they could clothe them as they liked, and it has sex involved, right? And no matter what the sex and how the man basically, mentally humble the girl, right? Or mentally beat her before him actually have sex with her, and they must say, oh, the girl always provoke, and the fact that for each action there was a punishment or a reward, right? Or in some cases, the man actually had to be physically show his dominance physically, not necessarily beat up the person or whatever, but there are times when there was a physical show of force was required, right? And them laugh at how the man usually put the woman in her place, right? So while them they talk about the money and the sex and all of that, and a show and I talk about the different scenes or whatever, they left out, that's for 365 BNI, they left out a key um plot which was in the start of the movie. Now for 50 Shades of Grey, Salakia Akim, 1 quick second. Shalom. Ah, yeah, me I do a live. Me soon me soon call you back. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, so with Slack about that. So with the difference between what movies that with 50 Shades of Grey, there was a consensual thing. The guy basically gave her a contract, she read through it and actually signed that she consent to being submissive and all of that. But the new one that them I talk about, right? But ask them, because them they talk for roughly like 10-15 minutes. And they must say, oh, them love the man and them love how the man deal with the girl and all of that. So I play devil's advocate, I say, we realize you not ignore the fact, say him kidnap her, right? And at that moment, everybody mouth fall on ground. And I'm like, no, we're not talking about that, we're not talking about that. Really. So I said, look here, we not ignore the, we say don't love the man or whatever. We don't realize that we not ignore the fact, say him straight up kidnap her, drug her drink and kidnap her. And then them relationship start. If never mistreat her or nothing, but me I say, we not ignore the fact, say, yo, even though the narrative falling on the fact that she fall in love with him eventually, right? We realize that we not ignore the fact that she get kidnapped. So while I'm trying to defend the point, I ask a question. So I say, if let's say the same scenario play out, no deviation from the storyline at all, you know, where somebody kidnap you, and at first you resist or whatever, you realize you can't escape. So you're all right for you give in as long as my feed you, clothe you, and make sure you say all right and everything. And him say, oh, after if you don't fall in love with him for after a year, and you let you go, you're all right with the, regardless of the facts them kidnap you. And lo and behold, all of them say yes. All of them said yes. And it really show how the scripture come to light. Now, when they look on it two ways. They could have looked on the fact say, yeah, him have money, and these women or today's society, them think money is everything. So them look on the comforts or whatever, the money or the wealth or whatever. But also from the standpoint of the fact that they realize that the money could have provided. Because she never shot her not, she never shot her food, she never shot her clothes, she never shot her shelter, and she never shot her sex, you know and it really bring me back to the scripture. So bring back the question again, just to ensure so I get a definite yes out of them. So I say, look here, if the same thing happen unto you in regards to all of that good stuff, but it starts with a kidnapping, at the end of the day, you know they're all right with it, and them all say yes, right? It remind me also when the Apostle Gabar did the video a few years back, which basically I'm going on some research, and the match basically I show so one of the main fantasies of a woman is to actually get raped. You know that based on I don't remember who did the study or whatever, but it was a study he was reading. And also just for a disclaimer, so like I should have done this at the beginning of the video. Not saying that anybody should go kidnap anybody. I'm just speaking about an experience or something that I witnessed, right? This is not to tell anybody to go and kidnap anybody or to quote unquote rape anybody or anything like that, you know? And the post or the research that Apostle Kabara went into was actually their definition of the word or the modern definition of the word rape, not just the overall context of just to cease, right? But the movie DNI, that is exactly what the man did was what Deuteronomy 28 was talking about, right? And we're going to actually read it and get into some other scriptures, for show that look, it is in line with the spirit of the scriptures. So a lot of men that talk about say, oh, women's rights and woman this and woman that. Hey, these women you never know. And really and truly that's how the most I met them. So real quickly, this is Deuteronomy 22, verse 28. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. So yeah, in the movie, that's the only part where they off is the fact so at the time when you do this, she have a boyfriend, or she basically she have a husband, and blackmail the husband and one bag of thing with the money. But that that would apply to Deuteronomy 22 all the way down to 24. But just highlighting the fact that it was by kidnap that everything fell into place. That are the part of the power may highlight that looks at in our society it only makes sense, right? Because marriage is not solely about sex, but it can in ancient time you had marriages by kidnapping, right? So let me just read it again. This is Deuteronomy 22, verse 28. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, they be found. So it says lay hold on her, right? And if you know if you're gonna as a matter of fact, let me just get the etymology and everything, because it's a three part description, so to speak, right? It says and they lay and lay hold on her and lie with her and they be found. So let's get into the definitions or the strongs of the words. Deuteronomy 28, 22, Salakia verse 28, right? So the Hebrew word for lay hold, right, is tapash, right, which means to catch, handle, lay hold, take hold of, seize, right? To lay hold of, seize, arrest, catch, right? Grasp, to seize, to be arrested, to be caught, to be taken, to be captured, to catch, to grasp with the hands. And that is exactly what he did. He actually captured her, right? Him actually drug her drink, and that's exactly what he did. He took her home. Now, the thing about it is, yes, at first she did have resistance or whatever, and that at the point where him show some physical force, but him never like she just stop him one thing. Him all him do a restrain her, and show her and basically make sure she understands that look, I have this strength where me can actually do something, but that's not my intention, you know. She try escape him lock her up in her room for like for a week. But unlike one cage or no farmer, she had a shower, she have a fully made bed, full accessory to basically him that treat her feel like a better term, him that treat her good even though him capture her. It wasn't anything abusive or anything like that. Him let her out of the room again and him start talk to her, him explain him intentions and everything. Right? And then afterwards, later down, then him lie with her, right? And guess what? He never did the modern definition of rape. She willingly gave it to him, right? And then guess what? He end up married her, right? Well, according to Esau society, but going through, it says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and may be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. Because he had humbled her, he may not put her away all his days. So if he was actually being righteous, then he would actually go to the girl father and pay the dowry. But I would say, oh, it's a modern time, so they're not going to repeat that in a movie or whatever. But intention from the get go also was not merely to have sex, because even one of the part of them at first when she never she basically she did back and forth if you about whether or not you gonna have sex with him, and even that tease him and thing. He said, look here, it's not that we need her just to have sex. We can get somebody else to do it. And him do for sure. I said, look here, I have power enough to have an next woman just to have sex with if that's what we really want. But he must say, look here, what we really want you for, I could be my wife. And that was what his intentions were, and that's how he will proceed on to do it, right? And he actually did humbler, right? So in a sense, I can see how if it was done in a righteous setting, we believe that if it was a case that it was done in a righteous setting where you know it, back then when those laws were in effect, a man capture dams him carry him house, him no want her to leave, so of course him man confine her in some way shape or form, right? And then she take her time to get to know him. It would have easily possible. That's why I'd say, and they be found. Because when a man back then usually do the marriage by kidnapping, he usually go hide, because obviously probably the father or the family or whatever will probably try to come back there, and besides him want her, you know. But there's a way how you go about it, right? So that is why I actually play devil advocate for really see when them would respond to it, and say in regards to the fact them acknowledge that she get kidnapped, right? And them must say, yo, if I did them as long as them get treated that way there, then them would have be all right. Which reminds me of this scripture. This is Exodus, you know, Exodus chapter 21, starting at verse 9. Well, verse 10, it says, if he take him another wife, meaning if a man already have a wife and him take another wife, it says her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Right? In the first day when she actually get the food, she say, look here, me alone can't eat off all this food. So right there, and then they see that he was able to provide for her. Because once you have a wife, you're supposed to be able to provide for them, clothe them and shelter them. So she actually have food. The second thing when do one of the second thing when we actually take her up on a shopping spree, So and she actually tries fighting by to try to get the most expensive thing, but they never there work. So he said her food, her raiment, which is actually clothes. So he actually feed her, carry her by clothes, and duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And guess what him actually do? Him actually the want to have sex with her, and not only that, him never do the according to these videos, him never do the modern definition of rape. Him actually wait until she give him consent to have sex with her. That's what he did, right? So according to the scriptures, if it was done in a righteous setting, right there and then, it was right. So in some detail, this type of information or this type of situation, of course, it makes sense. And even and when I have about what almost 5 to 6 women to agree upon the same point, these Miss Independence and rare, them could go around the fact. But as I say, me just the ones stay where their mindset was based on the whole kidnapping thing because them so hard by how the woman get treated, them even forgot say she get kidnapped. And even in the series Game of Thrones, at one point, Catelyn Stark, the mother, actually there tell one of the children or one of the child how she actually meet the father, and she said at first she never liked him, she never loved him. However, over time she grew to love him, you know. So at first she did distant, but over time them learned to love each other. So I never so much as said the fact that she didn't like him at first or whatever. But she basically get betrayed, and she did have to provide she did have to do her duties as a wife. And over time them get close and them actually build a family. And when they watch Game of Thrones, they can see how how much they actually love her husband and how much she actually did cherish our family, you know. So they actually grew in regards to love. Our way fairy tale love, because as you know, love is the fulfilling of the law, right? Also about another scripture in Ecclesiastes or Ecclesiasticus Slakia, right? Um this is as a matter of fact, yeah, this is Ecclesiasticus 36 verse 21. It says a woman will receive every man, yet one daughter is better than another. So even a man with him daughters, he may have a favorite daughter. So you can't say that man actually choose the with woman, but they say a woman, read it again, a woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. So they basically, once you get betrothed and certain things are in place, them naturally go fall in love with whosoever that man be. You know, looks not really about honey night. Hey, enough time even out here in Jamaica, them have say some ugly man always with some pretty woman and not understand how, right? But yeah, we have someone who say that we never talk to certain woman, and that is just the truth of the matter, you know. So really, all those westernized Israelites and those who can't say how, a law being put in place as a provision for if it's a case where rape or a capture of a woman actually happens, so that it can be done decently and in order. The father is recompensed, and of course the man have to make sure say him share being wife the rest of the days and actually perform all them duties, food, raiment, duty of marriage, you know, and basically get in possession and maintain her, you know, as a husband supposed to maintain him wife, are supposed to maintain him household, then what the problem? Because really and truly, at the end of the day, that is all what marriage is about. You're building a man household, and also he's supposed to be responsible enough, to maintain. So that even put me to the bring back to the point of the fact that these men were wealthy. That's why in the ancient time, you know, first of all, the prices of women were high. The how many 50 shekels of silver was equated to I did a research once, and other brothers, of course, where it shows that 50 shekels of silver was up to 7 years worth of work. So that's a very high price. So and like, just get up and just buy a wife or get a wife, right? So imagine for buy a wife, and also for maintain one, which means that after that's why as when I was 12 years old as a man or as a boy, you become a young man. Your father either put you under make you apprentice, put you under a tutor, or in regards to work, or them put us to certain work so that by the time you're 18, 21, I think Isaac when he was 30, him get Rebecca. So by then he would have get built up in a knowledge, he would have basically acquire possessions unto himself so that he can, by the time actually get a wife, and start have children, then he would have be able to maintain the household, you know. So that is why that just saying, even when we come to the truth, that's something when we end up learn. Hey, if you can't afford a woman, if you don't stable certain way, don't get a woman, because really and truly you have to can maintain them, just like any other possession. If you're not stable certain way, why would I get a car? If you're not stable certain way, how is it? If you don't have a house or certain things, why get certain possessions? Because you have to maintain them. You have to build up to a certain level before you can acquire certain things. Even the book from Babylon, The Richest Man in Babylon, which is basically a book about money management and economics. So one of the first thing a man's supposed to acquire is land, that has a yard space and big enough to actually build a house, so that him kids can have an inheritance, and him have somewhere where he can grow him family, you know. So that is why I point out the fact that the common thing when we realize with both characters from each of the stories or movies or whatever, they actually had wealth. They had money where they could actually get things as they needed, you know, buy food as them wish, with someone would have considered this as a rich man, them Fortune 500. But one was a Fortune 500 millionaire or billionaire, whatever, owned helicopter and everything, while one was basically a mafia drug lord or something like that, right? But it just goes to show that, look, to maintain a woman, or maintain a household a certain way, there's a certain level of stability, or certain level of stability that can be obtained whether through wealth or through proper money management. Because means that everybody who wealthy would have a wife, right? But even as a small man, there's certain little things that which is the basic thing, a house and a land, or some of a roof over your head at least, you know, would be definitely needed before you can even say I'll have a woman. And really and truly, as a man and as a provider, that is what is required. So I guess that what them, but a part of what will draw to them female spirit is the fact that even though him do that at the end, he was able to provide for her certain way or whatever. But I would say nonetheless, the kidnapping part never mattered to them either way it go. They will be like, hey, if that happened to them, then fine, you know. So as I said, just a quick testimony. Hope this was edifying. Hope them Western Israelite can see this and say even women, even Israelite women agree with this logic. They not even know side that they might agree with, but when I go through the scriptures, you see that they actually agree with it. So all praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kodash. There were honors to the apostles and elders of Great Stone, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.